Starting the recording. Hey, friends, welcome to From the Threshold. Each Saturday, I come to you from my messy, honest threshold, my front door, for a quiet moment of reflection for anyone living on the in between of creative life. It's not a tutorial, it's not a checklist, it's not a performance, it's just a pause with a little guidance tucked in, place to settle, reflect, maybe pick up something useful for your week ahead. My hope is that it becomes a soft corner to reconnect and remember what matters, and to see your own creative story, maybe with just a little more compassion. So, wherever you're listening from, I invite you to settle in, and I am glad you're here. I want to begin today with something that might sound familiar to you. I want time to make things. I want to paint again. I want to sketch. I want to stitch, and I want to quilt. I really, really do. I want to do all the things. I want to sink deeply into creative work with meaning and thought and no interruptions. But my life right now, it just does not look like that. Not one bit. It's defined by interruptions right now. As I wrote this script the other day, I literally had two interruptions while I was trying to write that sentence. I have too many priorities, too little time, and a nervous system that feels like it has been sprinting for years. I'm honestly working on all that, but for the moment, that's what I'm dealing with. Most days I'm fighting for any moment of slowness and quiet, and I lose that fight most of the time. So instead of all those things that I really want to be doing, I've been practicing something else. I've been noticing the curve of a daylily bloom in my garden, the variegation on a houseplant leaf on my desk, the colors and textures of a quilt, that items that I pass by on a daily basis. These aren't projects, they aren't plans, but they feel like a kind of return, a connection. And at first I thought these don't, quote, count. They aren't really creating. But then as I thought more deeply about it, something shifted. I've been watching the Hellgate Osprey cam. Yes, I am that girl who likes to watch nature cameras. If you're not familiar with it, there's this amazing bird named Iris. She's the oldest known osprey in the United States, and every spring she returns to her nest in Montana, hopefully each season to fledge a set of chicks. This year it has been like a soap opera there, and she is not raising chicks. Most likely not raising chicks. The season just has not unfolded that way. What is she doing? She's fishing. She's turning a younger male into a bonded companion. She's resting and preening and just sitting in the wind and flying, soaring in the canyon. And a lot of people are feeling a little heartbroken for her, but she's fine. She is not failing. She is simply being an osprey in this season. She's not nesting and she's not parenting, but she is still fully herself. She is still a beautiful creature doing osprey things. And some of what she's doing is probably setting herself up for next season when the time might be right. And our creative lives are like that too. Sometimes we are in deep generative seasons, and sometimes we are just doing things like noticing, gathering, or remembering. Both of those types of seasons are part of the rhythm. Neither is a failure. Is Iris still a mother? Yes. Still a maker of life? Of course. She just isn't in that season right now. And that helped me realize something, that my creativity hasn't gone away for good. It's just not nesting, not hatching in this season. It's circling, it's watching the sky, and that is still part of a creative story. Maybe you haven't made anything in a while. Maybe you keep wanting to, but life just won't give you that wide open Saturday afternoon. And that's okay. You are still creative and you are still allowed to return. It does not have to be with a flourish. It can simply be a noticing, a reaching, a whisper of, I am still here. If you feel scattered or distant or disconnected from your creative self and your life is busy, complex, or maybe it's changed, instead of giving you an answer or a formula, I want to offer you five small doorways. 5 ways that you might return to creativity even when your life is loud, even when you're feeling far from yourself. You can think of them as a little hobbit hole doors, small ways. You don't need to use them all. Just notice the one that feels like a soft yes to you today. These are all inward facing. They're for the days when you want to be creative, but you don't quite know how, or you're too tired, or you don't have time. Just see if one of these opens something in you. The first one is ritual, and I think of it as the doorway. A ritual is a repeated symbolic act that signals your return to something, in this case, your creative space. Ritual helps your nervous system shift into presence. It tells your body and brain we are entering a different kind of space right now. It creates continuity across chaotic seasons. You might already have a creative ritual, or you might decide now to create one. One example would be lighting a candle and letting it burn while you sew or draw or write. And that lighting, that action, that ritual action helps your body know this moment is different. I'm coming to do something for myself right now. And even when you don't have time to do that thing, if you repeat the ritual, lighting that candle becomes a way to honor that part of you that still wants to make. Maybe it's sound. I've been writing, and when I sit down to write, I put on headphones and start a specific kind of background audio. And that sound, because I've trained my brain to recognize it, now drops me into writing mode quickly, even when I really would not prefer to be doing that at the moment. It could be also something tactile, like a painting smock or a gardening apron or a certain sweater or scarf or something that you put on or hold that becomes your signal. Research shows that spiritual or secular rituals reduce anxiety and improve our focus. Even small rituals can reduce the decision fatigue and anchor your identity. It's not about what you do, it's about what that ritual means to you. So the second one is noticing. I've mentioned this before, that if this is one of the things that I'm doing, and I think of it as the glimmer. Noticing is attentive, mindful observation of color, shape, rhythm, texture, of whatever it is in the moment, and without the need to act on it. It's the first language of creativity for most of us. Most of us see before we make. I've been trying to notice one beautiful thing a day. I mentioned the flowers in my garden over there, or the shimmer in a piece of thread, or the way the afternoon light cuts across my desk and lights up a glass paperweight. That's what it was for me yesterday, the turquoise that just glowed in this paperweight yesterday. Not doing it to record it, not to use it, just to meet it. You might notice 5 colors on your dinner plate at night. You might describe one texture in your mind. What does it feel like? How do I think about this texture? You might let a sound, a bird song, or a clinking glass catch your attention fully. Psychologists call this awe literacy. I'm going to say that sentence again. I think I butchered it. Psychologists call this awe literacy, the ability to notice small wonders. Noticing reduces stress and it increases our emotional resilience. The practice of noticing is a creative act. It says, I am still here. I am still awake to the world. So the third one is touch. I think of this as the thread. This is physical contact with tools or textures or materials, even without making anything. Your body remembers. Touch bypasses perfectionism and reactivates creative pathways. It is a way of saying, I know you, either to the tools or to yourself. There are days when I don't have time to make, but I still might run my fingers across fabric scraps or hold a favorite pen. It's not output, it's orientation. For example, you could sort thread or fabric by touch rather than color for a few minutes. Or you could hold a pencil or brush in the palm of your hand and roll it around. You could flip through your sketchbook and just feel the paper. Studies show that touch activates the sensory cortex in our brain. It boosts memory and even stimulates ideation. Tactile cueing can reawaken creative memory. Even if your hands aren't making, they can still remember. So number 4 is echo. It's a whisper. Echo is the act of revisiting your old past creative work, not to critique it, not really to examine it, but simply to reconnect. It's a form of retrieval. Sometimes I scroll through photos of things that I've made, or I hold a quilt that I finished years ago and I run my hand across the seams. Not to measure it, but to remember I loved this before and I still do. Here are some other examples. Read an old journal entry or flip through a sketchbook. Revisit a playlist, a fabric, or a poem from a favorite creative session. Watch a video of someone making and feel that spark stir in you. Psychologists call this self-continuity. It's a proven way to restore confidence and counter creative grief. Echo is not really about going backwards, but it's about remembering what's still true. And the last one is restoration. I think about this as the exhale. Restoration is the act of refilling your creative well, not by doing, not by pulling in more information like we think of as inspiration, but by tending to the one who does those things. You cannot reconnect with creativity. You can't reconnect with creativity if your body is in survival mode. Rest creates the space where wonder can return. When I am overextended, I am not uninspired. I am exhausted. That's not failure. It's a signal. Sometimes the most creative thing I can do is nap. There, I've given you permission to do the thing that most people consider a waste of time. Or I might swing in my hammock or intentionally stop over functioning. You might take a walk with no podcast or music, just breath and birds. You might sit outside with tea and let your thoughts just wander. Say no to something that drains you so that you can say yes to yourself. Neuroscience tells us that insight often arises during default mode activity in your brain, things like showering or walking or daydreaming. Restoration is not a detour, it's the path back. So my son was in the middle of a cosplay build this week. He's making this massive 6-foot foam key for a game character. So I've been talking a lot about PVC pipe and construction foam and spray paint. And at one point I gathered up 10 spools of thread that were in his way on my sewing table. I didn't sew, but I did hold those spools for a minute. I rolled them around in the palm of my hands and I noticed how they caught the light. And I let my breath slow and something in me exhaled. That moment didn't look like creativity the way we think about creativity, but it felt like a doorway. So here's your invitation for this week. What is one small way that you might return to your creative self? One flicker of presence, one glimmer of beauty, one act of creative care. You don't have to make something, just come close to the part of you that wants to. Next week, I'm going to share 5 more ways to return. These will be more playful, more external, more about doing. But for now, just hold the thread, light the candle, listen for the whisper. You are already on the path, and I am right there with you. If this reflection felt like something that you might want more of, you might enjoy the Limina letter. It's an email that I send every Sunday with thoughts about the creative life and something small to carry with you throughout the next week. You can, I don't think I put the link below, but you can sign up at liminacreative.com/letters at any time. And of course, I will be right here again next Saturday on the threshold if you'd like to come on back. I would love to have you. Until then, stay passionately curious. Thanks, guys. Well, I noticed I was freezing a lot. Sorry about that. But Patricia, thanks for sticking with me. I'm super glad that you were here. And I am going to cut for the day and probably review how these went and see what I can fix for next week. Y'all have a good week.